Welcome back to the PC Engine Files. I'm your host, Mr. MegaManFan, and in the spirit of the month of Halloween, I decided to look at a spooky game called Ghost Manor. But the only things that are really scary about this game is how difficult it is to play and how much it costs to own. If you want a copy of Ghost Manor, which, quite frankly, I'm skipping ahead by saying this, but I don't think you do. But if you do, you're not getting it for anything less than $75 loose and $155 complete. And why is that? Well, this is a late release for North America. It came out in 1992. It is very difficult to source information accurately because when you look up Ghost Manor video game, you get the Zonix cartridge for Atari 2600. So it's already difficult to find out anything about it, and it was even difficult to pick it up back in its heyday, given that by this point in the TurboGrafx-16's lineup, they were under Turbo Technologies Incorporated, which was a last-ditch effort of NEC and Hudson Soft to make any kind of headway in the market by creating a new company and using it to publish the games themselves that other software companies saw no reason to publish here. So we're talking diminishing returns all around. Small number of consoles owned, small number of games released for it, small number of games being sold, and thus the prices for late TurboGrafx games go up astronomically. The later, the more expensive they are. And we're getting into that rarefied air here, so it's safe to say this is no Bonk's adventure, and I don't just mean in terms of price or availability, but as a platforming game in general. Now, Bonk may not have the tightest controls in the world compared to a Mario game, but they are absolutely rock solid compared to Ghost Manor. You just slip and slide all over the place trying to control your hero Arthur, and they give you incredibly tiny platforms to land on, which is something that you don't need when you're already skidding around like you're on ice. And that just makes it a very frustrating experience. It's horrifying to play, but not in the way they intended it to be. And the music, well, it starts out being okay, but then after you get stuck in a level like this for more than a few minutes and you hear that same looping soundtrack over and over again with no variation, it quickly becomes grating. It makes you want to mute the volume and not listen to it at all. So be thankful that for voiceover, I've turned it way down so you can hear me, because I don't want to hear it anymore myself after playing this game. And there's something just cheesy in a very unpolished way about this game. Cheesy horror movies are great. I love movies like Evil Dead, and Bruce Campbell is a fantastic actor because he's so over the top. Shop smart, shop S-Mart. You know, there's nothing wrong with cheese. It just has to be fun. If it's cheesy and it's not fun, then it just stinks. It's Limburger. It smells bad. It is bad. It's just not anything you want. You want cheese that's good cheese. You want cheese you can enjoy. And this does not provide that. There is a section here with these platforms that force you to slide down, and if you hammer the jump button enough times, you can sort of make progress up them. So it defies explanation why they were designed that way. It's like either you can climb them or you can't. Why can't you just go up them? Why do you have to slide down them if you can hammer the jump button enough times to get back up them? That's not much of a physics engine for this platformer at all. It says, we intended you to slide down, but you can cheese it if you want to. There's that word again. You can cheese a lot of things in this game, but you can't cheese that this orb you're given that you're supposed to defend yourself with has very limited ammo. And you don't realize that right away until it's gone, and then you have to die to get it back. I wasn't trying to die on purpose there, but I did. And again, I wasn't trying to die on purpose there either. I was just trying to collect the items. But if you jump into the flame, it kills you, even though you can walk in front of the flame, and it doesn't. And I tried to get up to the next area while I had cooled down the flames by picking up the blue item, but that didn't work. You can't, it's timed. Like in the King of Cards expansion for Shovel Knight, you can cool the flames for a certain amount of time, but they come back. At least in that game, it makes sense because you can do the dash to cool it down again, but once you pick up this item, you can't pick up another item to cool it down again. The item's gone, the flames are back, and you're screwed. And I'm screwed here too because I've got a key in my inventory and I'm standing in front of a door, but no matter what I do, I can't enter the door. I'm hitting the 1 button, the 2 button, the pause button, I'm hitting up in the button, I'm hitting down in the button. What's the point of having a key if it doesn't unlock the door? This game is obtuse in its ability to direct you where you should go. You fall into this chasm and you collect the key and you think, great, now I can leave this area. But no, that's not how you do it. It's unbelievable that they make you do this, but you have to hitch a ride on a ghost. You wouldn't think that's the way to solve this puzzle, right? Ghosts are ephemeral. They're transparent. They're insubstantial. How could you stand on a ghost? And yet, that is the only way to successfully leave this area, is if you see the ghost floating up, you catch a ride on it by jumping on top of the ghost, and he carries you back to the upper world, which in and of itself sounds good, but then it becomes obvious that one false step drags you right back down here again to this pit full of man-eating sharks and fire that you can walk in front of and be safe, but try to jump over it and you're good as dead. You've got monsters that pop out of barrels, lava that falls from the ceilings. In the words of an old song, 6 million ways to die, choose one. Let me tell you though, choose something else for Halloween. I know it's the season, I know it's the reason, but you can play Splatterhouse, or you can play Rondo of Blood. You can play something much more fun than this slippery, unpolished, late-era TurboGrafx release. It's a North American exclusive. It was developed here and published here, and the Japanese are probably grateful for that. They're like, thank you for never unleashing this turd on our shores. We are very fortunate to have not had this game on PC Engine. Maybe somebody somewhere is saying, I want this game because I want every game, whether it was PC Engine or TurboGrafx 16, and they're collecting all of the North American exclusives. Good luck. I mean, you can get a copy of this if you want, but I don't recommend it. Not for the price, not for the playability, not for the fact that it's going to be very difficult to get it complete in box if that's the kind of thing you want to do. It's just bad, as Rerez would say. So big shout out to Shane and his channel, and no love to this game because, look, that looked like a perfectly safe spot to walk, and it just dropped me right back down again. I hate this game. I hate that it exists, but happy Halloween. We'll try to do more of these games for the rest of the month.